Well, we have yet another dino story to share. This little guy here is one of the Ankylosauridae, one of the families of dinosaurs in order Dinosauria. And a real life fossil has been found in one of these. Let's put this where you can see it. And it was 18 feet long, estimated to weigh 3,000 pounds when it was alive, and it was found recently in Alberta, Canada, at the site of an ancient sea. Now, they were saying, well, since this nodosaur, one of the Ankylosauridae, um, since it was found at the bottom of a ancient sea, and yet it's a land-dwelling herbivore. They were wondering, how could it have gotten at the bottom of a sea? They're really confused by that, but I think I know of a flood situation that was of a great enough magnitude that this fella could have gotten swept off the ground and swept down to the bottom, and then just um, mineralized. But they're calling it a dinosaur mummy. So well preserved, it looked like he was walking around yesterday. A very common phrase that evolutionists have had to say since they started finding fresh materials. Pretty fresh compared to the 110 million years old this guy's supposed to be, when proteins can only last 100,000 years tops. Look, 110 million years is more than 1,000 times longer than proteins are supposed to last. Finally, the evolutionists are getting into it, and they were testing the skin, preserved skin from this dinosaur for melanin, for trying to find the pigment molecules, which are proteins. They're realizing now, these proteins can't last 110 million years, but maybe they could last 4,363 years. How long ago Noah's flood swept this little dude off the ground and into the bottom of a shallow inland sea. They also mentioned that his neck is kind of curved. We call this the death gasp, where most dinosaurs, when they were buried alive by the flood and the mudslides and sediment slides of Noah's flood under the water, and also on land animals, they crane their necks trying to get a breath. You'll find this with people who are killed in quicksand or avalanches, or any animal that is covered and is trying to get another breath. They'll crane their necks, arch their neck, and many times they'll be very twisted. The Archaeopteryx fossil is the famous one, is a great example of that. So this is what they find here: the death gasp, not as pronounced as in many fossils, but they found the guts. They found the contents of the guts. This is very well preserved for being that old, and they're shocked again. And they say, oh, this is brand new stuff. Well, 2005, Mary Schweitzer finally was listened to by the evolutionist community. Mary Schweitzer's a professing Christian and also a professing evolutionist, so she's kind of caught in the middle. That compromise is a difficult place. When she discovered the blood cells in the T-Rex fossil, I sent her an email and told her I was praying for her, because I know it would be tough. All the Christians be mad at her for believing in evolution. All the evolutionists be mad at her for finding data that didn't fit their theory. But really, it's been since the early 90s, and I'll show you the reference of this, that they've been finding red blood cells in dinosaur fossils. They're not petrified. They're the real blood cells, dried up and preserved, but there. And the hemoglobin and the other proteins and things that are in these kinds of tissues, blood vessels, muscle tissue in the Santanoraptor, those kinds of things can't survive more than 100,000 years. They could survive 4,363 years, though. I'll bet that's what happened, because scientifically it's impossible that their explanation could be true. Enjoy the documentation that I've got under the picture here, and God bless, and you keep thinking. Rar.